Hi everybody, I'm Abdul, and today I'm briefly going to cover 5 things that I believe will be helpful when you're starting new communities or societies on your campus. So yeah, let's just jump into it. First thing you want to consider is like building a team. I'll talk about my experiences and tips to help you build your own societies or communities. So for us, our SU required us to have 3 people to start a society, whereas there's only 2 of us. So we had to like find an extra person, and we lost that person, and yeah. So I recommend not starting on your own and building a team that will greatly support you. So this is my team and a few other people at Student Hack. So the main takeaway for having a team is to build a diverse team to help you build an inclusive community. So having a diverse range of people on your committee can help you when making decisions that affect, I guess, everybody. Next up is finding support when building your community. So support from like local companies and other local communities can be really helpful when building your community. For ourselves, we reached out to like the other London societies, so KCL, Goldsmiths, Imperial, UCL, and yeah, so we like partnered with them and like went to like community events in London to, I guess, bring on to that point is like local communities can provide opportunities and advice that you can't like personally provide, I guess, with your bandwidth. So a good one for university societies in particular is to get on good terms with your department. Your department can be like really helpful when trying to like battle through like litigation and your like, you know, like room bookings or whatnot that pops up when you're running a society / hackathon. Next thing you want to consider is growing your society. So for us, we made the initial mistake of trying to appeal to like everybody at university, and being a London university, we have like, I think 20,000 students. So it's like we spent too much time to appeal to like a too wide of a range. So I would recommend that you kind of like focus on a specific sort of like, I guess, so if you're running a tech society, I guess like it sounds obvious, but like focus primarily on people who are interested in tech first and like branch out from there rather than trying to appeal to everybody at first. Then another thing is like you want to find your biggest advocate. So these are the people who are like coming to every event or I don't know, like shouting, you know, your society's name from the rooftop or stuff, and like try to give them opportunities to like feed back into the society, which kind of helps in the long run. Again, speaking of feedback is also something you want to like get from your members on a like continual rolling basis. So one thing we did initially is that we only met up when we had a workshop running. So we only meet up like once a week for that specific workshop. So if you weren't interested in that workshop, we wouldn't see you for that week. So one thing we changed was to have like a I'll say code and chill session. So we picked a day which most people were free on, and we chose that day to like just meet up and like play like card games, talk about like new stuff in tech. Then like if we had a speaker or a workshop planned, we'll just like run it on that day anyways. That way people get the most out of like your time. So what I would advise is to listen to what people are interested on and like take that on. For example, I was running iOS workshops, which is a very niche sort of thing to do. So on Local Hat Day, I like ran an Android workshop instead, which was a bit more open to everybody. And finally, sorry, the array indexes threw me off there. Finally, you want to think about when you have to leave. So yes, you have to leave at some point. So back in January, we brought on 2 new committee members who were first years. So we kind of like showed them the ropes from January onwards. So that involved like the hackathon and like giving them more responsibility. For example, Curtis, who's pictured there, he was one of the first years that joined, and I let him basically run most of the sponsorship for Hack City. So my advice is to, well, one point of advice is to like delegate like as hard as possible. Like don't be too shy to delegate. Then yeah, don't see your leaving date as like an impending due date, like embrace it basically. So find more people who are like very invested in your community and like sort of like pass on the torch. So I spoke about teams, support, growing your community, getting feedback from your community, and when you have to leave. You might have seen that there was like array indexes and stuff. That's an actual Swift playground, which you can clone from my Git repo and run it, and it actually prints that. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.